Welcome back to the channel where we analyze the deeper forces reshaping our world today. We're delving into a striking column by Maleeha Lodhi and Dawn, titled Dangerous New Normal. This piece warns of a growing tendency among global powers to rely on military force, undermining diplomacy, international law, and long-term stability. Introduction: a world of uncertainty. According to Lodhi, the post-Cold War era's promise of stability is eroding, multiplying in overlapping conflicts from Gaza to Ukraine, from Indo-Pac tensions to US-China rivalry are fragmenting the global order. She refers to this as a proliferation of conflicts, creating a world that's more unpredictable and dangerous than at any time since the 1990s. The weaponization of preemptive force. Lodhi's central warning is stark. Powerful states are increasingly using force under the guise of preemption or defense. Recent examples include Israel's strikes in Gaza and Iran-Russian invasion of Ukraine. US bombing of Iran. India's attack on Pakistani positions. She asks, have these actions become the new normal, where force is the default first response, rather than a last resort? Eroding the rules-based order. One of the roots of this new normal is how international norms are being dismissed. Lodhi references UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres' commentary on an epidemic of impunity, where states flout international laws with little consequence. Some of these actions have even received tacit or overt approval from Western nations, deepening hypocrisy especially when compared to the global criticism of Russia's military aggression in Ukraine but relative silence over Israel's actions. The rearmament race. This dangerous shift isn't abstract, it has real-world consequences. Countries worldwide are hoarding arms. Stockholm's SIPRI and IISS report record breaking global defense expenditures in 2025, reflecting anticipation of continued conflict or direct involvement. This arms buildup is disproportionately driven by nations caught in conflict or fearing aggression, creating a feedback loop of fear and military escalation. Nuclear renormalization. Perhaps most alarmingly, Lodhi warns that the fear of attack nuclear powers striking non-nuclear states may prompt more countries to reassess non-proliferation commitments. The logic: nuclear arms might be the only way to deter great power attacks. This threatens to unravel decades of non-proliferation progress, as smaller states reconsider their security calculus under increasing threats. Diplomacy's decline. Diplomacy appears to be losing its power. Lodhi highlights that peace talks are increasingly seen as mere smokescreens for military campaigns. For example, Israel's talks with Hamas or America's post-strike engagement with Iran are criticized as pretexts to justify further military action, not genuine negotiations. This undermines trust in diplomatic institutions. The crisis of global institutions. Global bodies like the UN are suffering credibility collapses. Guterres warns of multilateralism teetering on the brink. Former UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon criticizes the Security Council's failure to enforce peace, accusing its powerful members of disregarding the rule of law when it suits them. This institutional paralysis emboldens unilateral military action, rather than collective conflict resolution or peacekeeping, further reinforcing the dangerous new normal. The consequences are global. The fallout from this trend is far-reaching. A more militarized world, with global tensions rising, a fragmented non-proliferation regime, diplomatic tools rendered ineffective, conflicts spilling across borders, making local crises into global flashpoints. What must be done instead? Lodhi advocates for reclaiming diplomacy and strengthening international institutions. Reinforce respect for international law. Revive credible, inclusive diplomacy, with real consequences for violations. Reform global institutions to prevent vetoes that serve narrow national interests, rather than global peace. Final reflection: are we ready to rethink security? The dangerous new normal isn't inevitable. It became possible because nations forgot that long-lasting security is built through dialogue, treaties, and trust, not weapons and threats. Lodhi's warning is timely. It invites us and our leaders to make a crucial choice: continue the path of militarism, or rebuild on a foundation of diplomacy and collective security. Thank you for tuning in. I'd love to know your thoughts. Have we reached a point where military force has overtaken diplomacy? What steps can rebuild trust in international norms? Share your views below. Hit that like button if you found this insightful, and subscribe for more deep dives into global affairs. Stay hopeful, stay informed, and keep peace at the center.